have just a few minutes left with you, but one final author, and I am so excited to share her message today because it is a message that is near and dear to my heart right now. I recently announced, and some of you may know, that we just got our first commercial office building. So we have 17,000 square feet in the heart of Georgetown, obviously right near Georgetown University. And part of why we wanted to move there is that it is part of the accreditation process. We are in the middle of becoming an accredited continuing education institute for nonfiction authors. It's about a 3 to 5 year process, and our building is just one small piece of that. But I was inspired in part by this author who I am excited to introduce you to. If you've ever wondered about continuing education, and maybe you have a program or something that you've wondered, what does it take to have the competitive advantage? How can you create continuing education that is profitable, sustainable, and impactful? You have been waiting for this wonderful author who walked into my life, and she's about to walk into yours. Tracy King, come on out here. So I'm so excited about competitive advantage and your work. I want to tell people everything. What is this book about? Who is it for? And I want to talk about your passion for continuing education. So hit us up with a little bit of your work.
Thank you. It's so near and dear to my heart. Well, I wrote this book because the continuing education industry is rapidly evolving and increasingly competitive. And unfortunately, a lot of professional associations that have these big portfolios of learning don't have an education strategy to maximize their resources or their market. And unfortunately, a lot of learning programs aren't even designed for transformation, for how a brain learns. And so this was just something that's on my heart. I developed this framework actually for my clients. So I'm sharing it now in my book so that other professional associations can learn how to seize their competitive advantage.
Yeah. Let's talk about your background with nonprofits. What's your experience and how did you kind of come into the content for this book?
Well, that's a beautiful question. I started out in corporate training and just by accident, just fell into that. I transitioned into academia. I taught communication studies for about 8 years. And then I transitioned into continuing education with professional associations. I've worked in and with more than dozens of associations now. And so I've been in those trenches and I felt the struggles of the professionals that I'm talking to in this book. And those who have read it already have told me, you're just speaking directly to my heart. It's like you are reading my thoughts.
Yeah. I have to say, I was surprised by how much curriculum development matters, because those of us who are in what we do is similar to a professional association. We're bringing together authors and sharing best practices. And when I actually started looking at it as a continuing education institute, I was like, oh, I have to like learn education theory. Like, how do people learn? And it makes you really think like, hey, if I want to build this association, how can I really get this content not just into people's hands, but actually get them to take action on it?
Absolutely, because the new value proposition in the market is transformation. That's what people will spend money on when they're looking for learning programs, and that's why we're vulnerable in the continuing education space. We need to develop that competitive advantage, and really the heart of it is offering transformational learning experiences.
Yeah, and I think, automatically for me, I was like, oh, information. Mm-hmm. But that, the theme today, inspiring transformation with your book, that is one of the things that has been major at the Author Incubator is like, this is not just about the information in your book, Competitive Advantage. It's not about the information that we put out for our authors. It is really about inspiring transformation. So, all right, I'm going to ask, this will be our last question of the show. So glad to all of you who are staying tuned. I'm getting updates that 80% of people have stayed online. So we're so glad you're here. I am going to ask you the last question, which will be, what has been the most difficult thing to overcome in writing and publishing your book? Question is from Kim from Portland, Oregon.
That's a great question, Kim. I took a couple running starts at this book over the past couple years, and at the beginning of this year, I was like, this is it. This has to happen this year. And when I encountered Angela and her program, that was just the thing for me to make those critical decisions that I've been struggling with over the past couple of years. How much belongs in the book? Where do I cut that off? How much do I keep for consulting? By the way, the answer is give it away.
Give everything away.
And for the first month of our time together of your coaching, we were forbidden from writing.
It's the hardest thing. Write your book in 9 weeks, but sorry, the first 4 weeks you can't write.
And it was magical because then I had such clarity about who I was really serving with this work. I had such clarity about what that message of transformation would be, and I had a roadmap for making it happen. And so then it came together quickly.
Okay, I saw one more question. I feel like I have to ask it because it's from Minneapolis. So it's Jessica from Minneapolis. Do you know Jessica? You know some Jessicas. All right, if you are the Jessica who knows Tracy, I'm only asking this because I saw you out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, she's from Minneapolis. I will ask the question. She says, how has completing the book changed your life?
Wow. Part of this process is not just producing a product, but becoming the author that would serve this public, this ideal reader, this problem, this challenge. And it's just such a privilege. When I finished the book, I wept because it's just so moving to me to have an opportunity to make this kind of difference in an industry that I'm so passionate about, that I love so much. So that transformation in me was the most meaningful part.
Well, that's it. Our focus is really on helping authors to write books that inspire transformation, but there's no way to do that without transforming yourself. That's the secret. That is the secret right there. So I am so grateful to all of you who have joined us. We're going to show you Tracy's book. Tracy King is the author of Competitive Advantage, Creating Continuing Education that is Profitable, Sustainable, and Impactful. Impact is my favorite word these days. If you are looking to inspire transformation with a book, if you are looking to make an impact with your voice and your message, you can join us by going to the authorincubator.com/apply. That is what Tracy did. That is what all of the authors that you have met here have done. We generally get somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 applications a month. What I am looking for is not that you're an amazing writer, because we have editors for that. By the way, who is your editor? We should shout out.
Mariah,
awesome. So we have amazing editors like Mariah and Anna and Bethany and Cynthia and Todd. We have a great team. But what I cannot do, what I can't hire anyone to do, is to have expertise like you've seen displayed on here. How many years have you been working in curriculum design, nonprofits?
more than 20 years, more than I care to admit.
So, yeah, exactly. We'll just say a decade. But if you have a decade of experience, if you are an expert and you have a passion for actually helping people and creating transformation, that I can't go out and buy that. I would bottle it if I could. We get 1,500 to 2,000 applications. About 300 people get interviewed of those that we will actually reach out to. And we tend to offer spots to somewhere between 30 and 40 people a month. And we take 25 of those people. So it is tough competition to get in here. So what I am looking for on your application is something you are passionate about and experienced with. If you have passion and experience, we can get the book out of you. We can get it out of you quickly, and it can start making a difference in changing your life. So that's what happened with Tracy, with the other authors you've met. Please get their books. I am so excited to share them with you for free, but it is for a very, very limited time. So please get them now. And if you are interested in writing a book that makes a difference, head over to the authorincubator.com/apply, because at the Author Incubator, we are changing the world one book at a time.